Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. From dreamland in Dortmund to disappointment in Dundee, just a week in the life of being a Rangers fan. I am your host Scott Carney and full house again tonight. Ali, how's it going?
Not too bad. Looking forward to Thursday night.
Ryan, how's things, mate?
Yeah, all right, mate. I'm equally looking forward to Thursday. I'm just looking forward to trying to forget about the weekend, to be honest. And what a tie we've got coming up. Ibrox should be rocking. Looking forward to it myself. Should be a night to remember.
Scotia, how are you?
Yeah, like the guys there. I'm getting slightly over the weekend there, and I'm putting all my attention on Thursday night. So yeah, more of that, please, because it's I don't want to linger in that game too much, to be honest.
No. Unfortunately, we will need to touch on it. That's the only thing. We will need to speak about that game, but we will come on to start the build-up to the Dortmund game. So yes, we are live on Facebook tonight, just due to on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube tonight, as we kind of build up to the Dortmund game. So get your comments in as always, everyone. I'll try and get to them. Also, just before we get into Rangers stuff, there is only less than a week left of our charity raffle that we're running for the Rangers Charity Foundation. So you can win a tour of Ibrox for 4 people for £3 per entry, with all proceeds that are raised going to the Rangers Charity Foundation. We are so close to our £100 target. If we get to that £100 target, we will match it. The podcast will match it, or £99 because that's the way threes work. Obviously, if we get £99, we will match £100 and give £200 to the Rangers Charity Foundation. So we are so close. So if you could, the link for everything is down below. That would be very much appreciated. That's a good start to the podcast. Jamie Lowe. Super Ali Pearson is my favourite.
Have
you paid him to do that?
Paid Jamie to say it. I'll give you that money on Thursday, Jamie.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I see I can see all your comments coming in. Hello, everybody. So let's go into Rangers stuff, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we will need to start with the disappointment of Sunday. It was obviously a 1-each draw with Dundee United. Ali, Ryan and myself brought a pretty in-depth reaction to the game where we broke the game down, so go back and check that out if you would like a breakdown of the game. Obviously a disappointing result after what Thursday was, but we're going to discuss a few points and I wanted to hear the guys' opinion on, and using the comments as well. I'd like to hear your comments on. So, start off with the age-old question, Ali, where did it go wrong? Is it the 12 noon thing coming back to haunt us again?
It's like I said in the post-match. To me, although we controlled the whole of the first half, we never had a shot on target, and we didn't really turn up to 60 minutes. And we gifted a goal once again, which we've done umpteen times this season for a set piece, for a corner kick. So I've seen this movie before. I wasn't shocked when I watched it again there. And yeah, Rangers were really good the second half, I would say, for the last 30 minutes of that game. But they were unlucky, Rangers. Obviously, the referee didn't help us. But this last 4 away games there, you said 4 points in 4 away games isn't good enough. That doesn't win you league titles at all.
No, it definitely doesn't. Ryan, I don't want to spend too long on it. We will come on to happier times, but we do need to speak about it, mate. If your thoughts changed much from Sunday?
No, they've not changed, but I did read a good tweet from Martin Ramsey that put things into kind of perspective for me in terms of, I know people have been criticising Gio and the lead that we've given up to them, and obviously it's gone. The lead, and they're 3 points clear now. But he said maybe it's not the management team that need to be looked at, because this is the third. The way we're heading just now, this is the third post-winter break meltdown we've had, this squad. 4 times they've played together, and 3 times after Christmas they've collapsed. I'm not saying they've fully collapsed, but it's looking like they've done it. We have dropped 9 points since Christmas, which is criminal. There is no getting away from it. It's criminal, and like I said on Sunday, and I'll exhaust everyone saying it. It has to change. That wasn't good enough on Sunday. The first half was not good enough. We can blame referees. We can go down that route because they are terrible. But we're going to have a terrible referee on Sunday. We're going to have it every Scottish game, domestic game from now to the end of the season. We need to put up with that. We need to win games. We need to get the ball in the back of the net and start getting 3 points quick.
Yes, very quickly. It was very disappointing. As I say, I don't really not really sure how I feel about it. I'm trying to kind of put it behind me, try to look forward and things, and it was just it's becoming a thing, and I don't like when it becomes a thing in terms with Rangers. There's been too many of them recently. Scotia, what do you think, if anything, Gio could have done differently on Sunday to kind of eradicate this away form? I suppose if you knew that, mate, you'd be the Rangers manager.
I probably would, yeah. No, it's frustrating. It was like my takeaway from the game. It was really, really frustrating because I don't think it's the worst we've played this season. But like Ryan's mentioning there, that's win at home and get a draw away. Obviously, I'm not including the Old Firm match in that because they're always a wee bit slightly off. But since we've come back, that's three draws away from home, and it's not been good enough. It was really frustrating. But I don't think Gio could have done an awful lot more. Perhaps he didn't make as many changes as I was expecting him to. I was expecting about 4 or 5 changes to the team that had played against Borussia Dortmund. He went for the right team, or the team that he's went for. I mean, I think I was listening to you guys back, Carney, and you'd said that although we expected more changes, that's still a fantastically strong team, and a team that you would kind of want to play, but they just didn't show up to it. I think we had something about 30 odd shots at goal, but only 3 of them were on target. So that Gio can do nothing about that. It's really frustrating, and it just worries me that we're dropping points away from home because we won't win the league with that form.
Yeah, no, we won't. It has become a thing. There's no doubt about it. And it was something like 70 touches in the opponent's box, and we've scored 1 goal from it. I mean, look, as you say, we kind of disagreed, I suppose, to a certain extent. I didn't think Rangers were particularly bad, but it's not good enough to just put all the effort in and not get results. And now the way that the 9-point swing that's happened, it's really unacceptable. It's not good enough. It's nowhere near what we need to be the levels we need to be hitting in order to maintain a league challenge. And yeah, to gift another 2 points away from that was very disappointing. Scotia, I'll come back to you. We have a problem defensively when defending corners. I don't think there's any, and I'm coming back to you, mate, because obviously you're a defender at heart. So teams are now aware of this. I think we'll probably all agree that an in-swinging ball into our box is going to cause us problems if our defenders are out of position, even slightly. So, is it time that we stop living romantically about Alan McGregor? We've had conversations about McGregor before. We brought it up before when he's had a bit of a poor game, but we would maybe drop him. Ryan said a couple of times as well that's just definitely going to be his last season, and it's not ideal to speak about it. However, we are struggling to keep clean sheets from set pieces, and not having a keeper that comes out for shots, comes out for crosses, is causing us bother. Look, we've had conversations. I remember back in the day, conversations happened to this even when Gorham was getting towards the end of his tenure. So, what do you think? Do you think that's too knee-jerk reaction just to rotate McGregor?
Not really, if I'm being honest, because the problem you've got that teams, as you say, know there is really you have like 2 opportunities to defend an in-swinging corner like that with your goalkeeper coming for it and then your defenders as well. But because McGregor doesn't, and to be honest, McGregor's never done it, so it's not as if it's something new in McGregor. He's always been reluctant to kind of come too far off his line. It just gives the opposition teams that chance. We had this conversation, like you say, round about the League Cup final, when we were all saying, is it time for McGregor maybe to get dropped? And then he comes in and starts putting in some tremendous performances. But to be honest, it's kind of going back to that stage again, that should McLaughlin be in front of him? think we've also got issues not only with McGregor there, but obviously Helander coming back in. He had a really bad game on Sunday there. You could see that he's been missing for 5-6 months. The McGregor one, we're back to where we were, 3 or 4 months ago when we were talking about, is it time for McLaughlin to come in? Because McLaughlin, he controls his box an awful lot better. I would still say McGregor's the better shot stopper, but the goals that we're conceding aren't these shots. It's the set pieces that we're losing all the time. And yeah, as you say, teams are cottoning on to it. So something does need to change there, I think.
Yeah, Ali, United made a cautious effort to constantly play for corners, and they didn't play one out-swinging ball from the corner that they had. So it's clearly becoming a thing now. So what do you do? Do you keep McGregor and goal, or do you rotate it now? And look, it wasn't McGregor's fault that we conceded on Sunday, but it didn't help matters that he doesn't come for crosses.
No, it wasn't his fault, but he doesn't help the defence, to being honest. This sounds quite bad, and you don't like slagging McGregor. He's one of the greatest goalkeepers in our generation. Him and Andy Gorham, you have the discussion who's best, Stefan Klos, obviously. So I'm not here to slag Al McGregor because he's been absolutely fantastic for our football club. But he's now 40 years of age. Should he? I know hindsight is a great thing, as we said on the post-match the other day. Should he have retired last season on that high? He may look back at the end of this season and go, yeah, I should have went out at that point. Because there's spells this season where I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's as quick as he used to be. And I mean, me and Ryan in particular, always say here we shit ourselves when a ball comes into our box. And he's one of the culprits as well, because he doesn't come for a ball. The amount of times I'm screaming at the telly going, McGregor, what are you doing? He just stands there. And we know that's what he does. And if it was me, I'd bring John McLaughlin in now. And it sounds quite harsh, but I'd bring him in now. I think John McLaughlin brings a calming influence to the back line. He'll come for a ball. I think he's good with the ball at his feet as well. He's maybe not as good a shot stopper as McGregor, but I would bring McLaughlin in at this present point.
Yeah, Ryan, you said that we spoke about McGregor before. You said that this would be his last season. I think we probably all kind of expected for it to be his last season. But Ali makes a point there about McLaughlin. He's never really put a foot wrong, not that I can remember. And I know as a football fan we've got short memories, but I can't remember him making a particular blunder that's became a talking point. He might not be as good a shot stopper as McGregor, but again, have we really seen him tested? So I don't know. What's your opinion, mate? It doesn't feel right having this conversation about McGregor because we love the guy and he's a legend. He'll always be a legend, but everybody's got a use-by date.
Yes, and we always say nobody's bigger than the club. This is a problem. It's been a problem all season, and teams are targeting us with corner kicks. It's not going away. They're not addressing it. It's not just McGregor's fault. The players, there's something not right with the defence. What I don't get is that this is the same defence, relatively the same defence and goalkeeper from last season who stopped so many shots. This isn't a new thing for McGregor not coming for crosses. He's never came for crosses. So something's not right and something does have to change. I am late to the party because I'm probably a few weeks behind you in terms of, I think McGregor does need to get dropped. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but he's struggling. He is struggling at crosses. He's, like I said, this could be a total rumour and I don't want to say it's came from any good source, but I was told he's got problems with his hips and you can see the way he goes down for a ball sometimes. Like if you think of that goal against Ross County, he just doesn't look comfortable unless he's going, like if it's a shot then fair enough, but just diving down he doesn't look great. McLaughlin has never made a mistake for Rangers. He deserves his chance. I've always said when we bring him up in the pod, his distribution is far better than McGregor's. He gets the ball out really quick. He can kick with his left and his right foot. McGregor's not the best kicker of the ball. But yeah, it doesn't feel great saying it, but I think John McLaughlin, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring John McLaughlin in. Maybe not Thursday, but yeah, I think it's got to be on Gio's mind to start thinking about changing things about and trying to address this issue that we've got with corner kicks and defending corner kicks, because it can't continue. It's gone on long enough.
Yeah, it has gone on long enough. Chris has said, should we not be asking the defenders to defend better? Yeah, I'm not blaming. I'm 100%. I'm not blaming Hollander. I'm not blaming McGregor even for the goal on Sunday. But this isn't the first time that it's happened this season. It's now reoccurring, and teams are now targeting it. So something has to change. Hollander is at fault for that goal. He reads the ball wrong. His man gets the better of him, and he gets up and he puts the ball away. A match fit Hollander, in my opinion, doesn't make that mistake. But as I say, it is now becoming a thing. Whether it's in the centre backs' minds that they know that McGregor's not going to come for it, so they have to win the ball. It all could be leading to this cycle that we see. I mean, the Ross County goal, the last kick of the ball when they scored the equaliser. I mean, that just sums up everything that's wrong with us at corner kicks. It was a bit of a horror show. It's an interesting one. As I say, and it does feel a wee bit like. Kind of feel like you're abusing a puppy or something, because you're talking about McGregor and we all love him that fondly, we really do, but everybody has their time, and it might be the time now for change to happen and for McLaughlin to get his goal. Also, Dale said bring in Seacrest in the summer. Now, I'm not a massive fan of this either, but as soon as a keeper has a decent game against us, that we decide that we're going, everybody thinks we should sign him. I don't know enough about him. Now, I'm not going to say he isn't a good goalkeeper, but I personally, not for me, because I've only seen him play once well, and it was against us. So, any use opinion on him? Do you think Rangers should be looking at that, at United's keeper?
I read in January that we were interested in him. I can't remember where I read it. It wasn't a paper because I don't buy them. I've read that somewhere that Rangers were actually interested in him. So there might be something in it. But yeah, I've seen him a few times. He looks a decent goalkeeper. Not seen anything where I would think to myself he'd be our number one. If McGregor's not doing it, it's John McLaughlin for me. But yeah, Rangers are going to buy a keeper in the summer. That's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. So whether it's him or not, but yeah, there might be something in it.
Yeah, I just think if we're going to look at a keeper in Scotland, and we have already got a pretty decent one sitting on the bench in McLaughlin, I don't think, in my opinion, the only one better would be Gordon, maybe. Would we agree on that?
Gordon's getting old as well. I mean, Seacrest's 30 years old, McLaughlin's, 32, 33? So I'd be happy enough with McLaughlin still. If McGregor was hanging up his gloves, McLaughlin would be fine for me as coming in to replace that.
For you, McLaughlin?
Yeah, we had a chat with Xander Clark not that long ago when he was having good performances as well. So yeah, to me, I put McLaughlin as number one next season and take our time looking for a goalkeeper. Look to the other side of the city when they brought in Barney the Dinosaur for £5 million, and look how that happened. So I think we've got a more than capable keeper, John McLaughlin, to come in next season and take our time and look for the right person to be the number one goalkeeper for Rangers.
Yeah,
and we've also got McCrory there as well. So if McLaughlin comes in, I think the plan would be for McCrory to eventually take over after that one. So I'd be happy.
It must be. I think it must be. I think the plan, because McCrory's been out on loan so many times, I think it looks like the club hold him in high regard. So I wouldn't be surprised if McCrory is first team, if not the goalkeeper, on the bench next season, because they could have let him go a few seasons ago and they seem to hold him in high regard. So yeah, that's a good shout from Scotia. I'd imagine McCrory will be about the first team set up next year.
Yeah, I would think so. So we'll move on, and unfortunately we're going to need to talk about referees. Sorry, Ali, we're going to need to talk about refs. The Moonhowlers that live the bizarre life of seeking out our podcast to leave comments think that we only complain about referees when we are losing. I look back today just to reassure myself that I wasn't losing my mind. After the Hearts game, after the Hibs game, we spoke about referees. Now, on Sunday, the first penalty, as contentious as the one that seems to be most contentious. My interpretation of the rules is that's a penalty. I don't no matter what, that is a penalty. The second one is a stonewaller and a red card, and it's been missed. And the only thing that seems to be coming out of this is the possibility of Ryan Jack getting a ban because of the tackle he made.
Can I just put in quickly, Carney?
Go.
It's just it came in the news tonight that Ryan Jack and Charlie Mulgrew aren't going to they're not getting done for it at all.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad. That's made me a wee bit happier then. I'm not as annoyed. However, if it was just Ryan Jack's tackle there and not Charlie Mulgrew's, do you think Ryan Jack would still be going? Because I think he would. Charlie Mulgrew's was a bad tackle. I'm not going to lie. Ryan Jack's tackle was a shocker, man. That's a pretty poor tackle. However, we'll leave that there then. I don't need to speak about that. In terms of, as I say, in terms of refereeing as a whole, it's not good enough. We are not the only team that suffered this weekend with terrible refereeing decisions. So, you all know, I was never really sure about VAR, whether I was kind of on the fence with VAR. Now, 100%, I am for it, and I'm for a complete overhaul of Scottish refereeing. Argue with me, tell me I'm wrong. Ryan?
Right, I'm a good person to start with because I always say I don't want VAR because it's not watertight and it still makes mistakes. However, Scottish referees are so bad this season, and I've never spoken about referees as much as I have this season. They're so bad this season. You're better having a fucking 10-year-old kid running about with a whistle because they are horrific. It's a joke. The decisions are a joke. And yes, I only focus on the decisions with Rangers because that's my team. But I'm sure decisions go against other teams, against Rangers, and they're terrible as well. And I just don't see it. But the decisions it's week after week, and it's huge decisions that are going against clubs, and things are getting missed. Referees aren't getting involved. As I said, they're just wanting to get their 90 minutes in and get up the road. Yeah, I'm very rapidly coming towards the let's bring VAR in. But it's the finances. I mean, are the Scottish, who does that sit with, SPFL? Are they going to fork out for this in every ground in Scotland? They're not. They're not, and we are sponsored by Cinch. I don't even know what Cinch is. So I don't imagine there's much money in Scottish football to pay for this. So yeah, I want a brand new pair of Nike Air Max for my birthday, but I'll probably not get them. That's the way I'm looking at it.
I get what you're saying, mate. I do get it. I think it's just we often complain about the level that Scottish football's portrayed at, and things like this are just not really helping matters. I also seen a ridiculous thing on Twitter today. I can't remember, was it PLZ soccer or something? Is that a thing? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember. They put up, should Rangers and Celtic fund the whole thing of VAR? No, sorry. Why should it be Rangers and Celtic that fund VAR? Why do we have a football association in this country? Like an absolute joke. The SFA can't afford this. They just don't want to, in my personal opinion, because it's too much of an overhaul for them. But it's just the continuing bad refereeing has completely changed me to I am so pro VAR. It's not funny now. Scotia, VAR for you?
I've always been for VAR. And although, Ryan, yeah, you're right, that there will be mistakes made by VAR when it gets brought in, because there's always teething issues with things like that. It'll reduce the amount of mistakes that are getting made. Because, we always focus on the kind of match-changing decisions, like penalty shouts and things like that, but there's other decisions through the game that are getting completely missed. I mean, on Sunday there, and this one annoyed me more, Ryan Kent was bursting away, and the boy just grabbed him and pulled him right back. No foul given. Nothing, and I was more angry at that than any of the penalty claims, if I'm being honest, when I was watching it. It happens too often. But I think the VAR really does need to come in, but I did see a figure getting bandied about that it was like 100 grand a season to bring VAR in. But it was that maybe per club as well.
I'd imagine.
So everyone else was like, we won't do that. And to suggest that the old firm pay for it's just ridiculous as well. Because there'll be clubs down at the bottom. I'm sure Dundee supporters and Dundee, the team themselves, have probably had decisions against them, and they'll have decisions coming up to the end of the season that could potentially mean that they stay bottom of the league and put them down, and that has a massive financial implication for them.
Sorry
saying,
to
Ryan?
interrupt you, Scotia. I've got a crazy idea, and you can call me out if it's wrong. See if all these other clubs that aren't the Old Firm or Rangers and Celtic, if these other clubs actually opened their stadiums up for a season and sold their tickets to the Old Firm fans instead of leaving their stands empty, maybe they'd be able to afford VAR next season. Just a crazy idea.
I love how serious you are about it as well, mate. You're right, though. I mean, you're 100% correct. Instead of just being the pettiness of it, then yeah, I think they do what Livingston does. I mean, Livingston open up 3/4 of their stadium to us, which we sell out. Do you know what I mean? So they make their money out of that. It kind of makes sense. That would pay for that VAR.
I agree with you to an extent, but I can also get the argument from the other supporters that aren't Old Firm fans that they must hate it. I mean, mind when we won the league against Kelly back 10 years ago or so, and I know all the Kelly fans were raging because there's so many Rangers fans and like their end and things like that.
Ali, when we last spoke about VAR, you were very much on the fence, I think, mate, with me, kind of yes and no. Are you all for it after yet another weekend of just calamity refereeing?
I don't know if I'm all for it. I watch it down in England a lot of time, and it's the offside decisions down in England that do my head in when they bring the lines in, and it's an absolute buzz here and they rule them offside. I don't like that. I think it takes the emotion out of the game as well. But we are semi used to it in terms of we've had it in Europe the last couple of seasons, so we have had decisions go for us, go against us. So we kind of are used to it in Europe. In Europe, it seems to run a bit better than it does down in England. I've seen Jamie in the group chat there was saying if we had it in Scotland, it'd be the same clowns up here that would be looking at it in terms of imagining Clancy and the rest of them looking at decisions on a VAR machine. I'd be shiting myself. He'd be having a field day in there, by the way. It'd be brilliant for him. I think it does need to come in, to be honest, because there's far too many. I mean, you can look back the last, 5-6 games for us. I think there's been a major decision in pretty much every single game. I know we've won a few of them, but you look back and you get human error and all that, but at the same time, a lot of these decisions are just shocking, absolutely shocking. And yeah, I would bring it in. I would. And I think Ryan's right, to be honest. These clubs should open their stands and it's 4 games a season. Us and them as well, going as well. They'll fill it too. So, and they can have VAR. So, yeah, I'd bring it in. I think we're the only kind of top flight kind of nation that don't really have it. There's a lot of smaller nations than us that have it. So why can't we have it? And I know it's down to money.
Per head of population, we've got the highest attendance in Europe per head of population. Now, an awful lot of that's down to the Old Firm fans. But still, when you look at that and then you see countries, I'm sure like Azerbaijan, no disrespect to them, but I'm sure they've got VAR in their league.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. And one of the things with VAR as well, actually, and I know we talked about this not too long ago, it's about the referees not being full-time. You're going to have to take them out their jobs to kind of train them, if it is going to be the referees and the officials that are doing it. So again, it comes down to that kind of, should we first of all look at, or do it in tandem, getting more refs up to full-time standard, and along with VAR as well.
No, yeah, I think you have to. There has to be an overhaul of the whole officiating across Scottish football, because these refs aren't good enough. Maybe extra training, maybe making them full time will make them good enough. I don't know. I'm not here to judge that at that point, but something needs to be done. Because it's now becoming, that's just the way it is, and we can't just live with that. Like, it's just the way it is. Well, just because Doncaster wants his bonus, come on, we need to do more. There has to be more, and we have to represent our game better than what we are right now. And just the standard of refereeing is probably the worst I can remember. I can't remember it being much worse than this. It's absolutely absolutely shocking. So, speaking of balls, Manscaped promo time, everybody. It's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, who are the leaders in below-the-waist grooming and can provide you with the right tools for the job. With exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com and use the code CLUB@22 for 20% off plus free shipping. The number one product in the package is the Lawnmower 4.0. It has skin-safe technology so you don't damage the man veg and has an LED light in case you want to live life on the edge and shave your delicates in the dark. To complete trimming of said delicates, finish it off with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Ball Toner, Scotia's favourite. These formulations will have your balls smelling like a king. Our exclusive offer is 20% off and free shipping with code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Thank you to Manscaped for their continued support. Their products really are brilliant. I think Scotia's on about his 5th bottle of that ball toner because it smells so good. So yeah, if you use code CLUB@22, you will get 20% off and free shipping, but you'll also be supporting this podcast. So thank you to everyone who has used the code so far. So before we get on to the Dortmund game, gentlemen, I wanted to speak about our January window. This is nearly a month on now. And I wanted to speak about our loan signings in particular. Now, we had a bounce game yesterday against Brentford, and a number of first team players. I've actually forgot to bring I can see it. It's sitting downstairs. I had a list of who was playing, but Davis played. I know that. Carney. Go for it, mate, because I've left it downstairs.
So you had McCrory, Zakowski, King, Simpson, Balogun get 45 minutes. Sands, Wright, Kamara get 60 minutes. Diallo get 45. Davis get 60 and Roof get 60 as well.
Yeah, so a number of first team players. Charlie McCann made the appearance as well, and Juan Alegria as well. Is that right? I'm just remembering what I wrote down. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, no sign of Aaron Ramsey. We'll address that elephant in the room very, very shortly. But first, we will stop at Diallo. He didn't really endear himself. Scotia, I'll come back to you, mate, because you weren't on Sunday. He didn't really endear himself to the Rangers support on Sunday. He's missed, or he's not squaring the ball to Sakala for, which would have been a goal, and his lack of tackle, if you like, kind of put him under the microscope a wee bit. He did score 2 in that bounce game against Brentford yesterday, but what are your thoughts on him so far, mate? Well, we a wee bit harsh on him. I know you're the more kind of forgiving out of the four of us.
I think when he came on, he looked as if we improved, because we did start playing an awful lot better when he came on, but I think that was potentially because Arfield was absolutely knackered. But no, like you, the one that frustrated me the most, not the squaring to Sakala, it was the one where he was onside but thought he was offside and just gave up and didn't run for it.
Yeah.
That really annoyed me. I don't like seeing that. But I think it's January, the loans coming in frustrate me sometimes, because you've not got that long left in the season and you really need to be at it from day one. And with Diallo, he's not, and he's been playing bit part appearances. And I'm running out of time to give him any more time to impress me. That's the big problem, particularly with a January loan. It's a difficult one. I would like him to do well, because from what I've seen and from what I've read about him, he's a great player. But if he's coming into us and he's going to be playing like Man U, I would imagine, want him to play as much as he can. He's got to bring something to our team, because otherwise you are leaving out full-time players that we've got that we could be using to improve, which would be better, make more sense overall. But at the moment, he's not done enough to kind of justify the move at the moment. But yeah, and I'm sure you'll come on to Ramsey, but the same could probably be said about him.
Yes, we'll come to Ramsey. Don't worry about that. Ali, your thoughts on Diallo, mate? Is he going to cut it here?
I was probably quite scathing about him at the weekend there. But I think rightly so, to be honest, because it was more his attitude. I know Scotia said he'd come on there and kind of showed bits and bobs, I think, but I don't really think he did, to be honest. I know he was in goal at one point, he flashed a ball across, but every time I seen him get the ball, and I thought, go at the fullback, because he's got it in his locker. He didn't do it. I think he just shifted responsibility to somebody else. And I was disappointed in. I know he scored 2 goals in a bounce match there, but I've just got the feel he's one of these players that's been sent up here. He doesn't fancy it. And we can't have players coming up here that maybe don't fancy it, because it's too important, this league at the moment, and especially where we are now, 3 points behind them at the moment. We need players that are committed, and can we rely on him? I don't know. I don't want to write him off, and I'm not writing him off. I hope he comes back and puts on a fantastic performance going forward. But I was disappointed when the weekend. It was the attitude more than anything that really annoyed me, to be honest.
Yeah, Ryan, Rangers on Tour have said, name a player in the side who hit the ground running. Lundstrom has just hit form. That's probably quite a good point. However, when you're only here for a short space of time, you don't really have the luxury of getting yourself kind of up to speed. And Diallo, it just didn't do himself any favours.
I know what the Rangers on Tour saying. That's a good point. However, I don't think anyone can accuse Lundstrom of not trying. When he had his moments against, was it Alshkert? I can't remember, the European game, and he got sent off, and he had a couple of bad passes and gave a few goals away. But I don't think anyone would have accused him of not trying, or the commitment wasn't there, or he didn't look interested. I think he always looked interested. Lundstrom, he just didn't hit the ground running. That from Diallo, it doesn't matter if you're Diallo or Ali McCoist or who you are, that in a blue jersey isn't good enough for me. You need to be competing. At the very least, you need to be competing. And yeah, he's a young lad, and yeah, he's up here on loan from a big club to learn fast. Learn fast, because you won't last here at all with that kind of commitment. He's at a crossroads at the moment for me, where he'll either come out and prove people wrong, because he'll be getting the critics, and he's a young boy, he'll be on social media, he'll see the comments, and he's at a crossroads just now where he needs to either prove these guys wrong, or he'll disappear like, is it Olivia Ajaria? Was that what you called him? Remember, he finished his loan spell early and went home because he just didn't like it up here. That's what he'll do. This boy will just fade away, or he can go and prove a point. Man United have sent him up here to toughen up. You just know they have. They obviously don't like the lack of physicality he's got. And he has to have that. If he's playing for Man United and he wants to make the top, he's got to have a bit of physicality about him. He's going to take a lot of harsh tackles if he's a tricky winger. So yeah, this is a place to learn, and I'm sure Man United will have addressed it before he come up here. So he's at crossroads for me. He needs to start applying himself.
I agree. I do agree. I think as well, though, it's taking things in context out of context as well. I suppose if we were 3-0 up on Sunday and he had that chance and he had the post, you wouldn't be talking about it. We wouldn't really be speaking about it. We would have forgot about it. But it was just because of the way the game went on Sunday, and yeah, I can still see him pulling out that tackle. And every time I picture it, I just shake my head. Just like, no, and you won't survive. You won't survive. The Rangers fans any fans of any team really are not really going to put up with that. And we'll move on to Aaron Ramsey. Now, I'll come back to you. I said that we had the bounce game there. No sign of Aaron Ramsey. We were told that he had a minor knock, but he'll be back in training this week. Maybe he has been in training still this week, but he wasn't involved in the bounce game. Now, the longer this goes on, the longer he's not up to match fitness, the longer he doesn't play, I start to question what we're doing and why we've done it. Is that fair? I kind of think we've been drawn into signing names instead of actually signing what the team needs.
Yeah, I think we're probably all guilty. You'd be allowed to, though, to be honest, when a glamour name comes in from Juventus on $400,000 a week. I think we all bought into the signing. I remember speaking to you, Carney, when we signed Ramsey, and we thought he was going to go right into the team, remember? And I said to you, no, Gio said he's not playing and he's not going to be playing until. And you said, I think your words to me were, well, what's the point of signing him at that point? And now we're on the 22nd of February, and you might well be correct, to be honest, because I don't know. Didn't he play in the bounce game? I'll be intrigued to see if he's on the bench tomorrow night. If he's not on the bench tomorrow night, I'll be slightly worried because we've got 11 league games left.
Yep.
Hopefully some cup games in there. Hopefully the next round of the Europa League as well. But it could be an expensive mistake because I think we forked out something like £2 million for him, for a guy that potentially might not play for us. Or on the flip side, he might play for us and he might win us a championship. You don't know. But were we better investing that money in a player that would come into the team and would be a Rangers player going forward? You don't know. But looking at it at the moment, it doesn't look great at the moment in terms of Ramsey. But like I say, it could flip and he could come back and he could have a run in the Rangers team and we could look back and go, fantastic signing by Ross Wilson. But looking at it at the moment, I don't know. I don't know about it.
I think that's fair, mate. I think I'm actually quite surprised at how unconfrontational usually you were about that, mate. Scorsese has decided to do a leave.
He's obviously didn't like my comment there.
Yeah, Scorsese disagreed with you anyway, so I was blatantly wrong, mate. Ryan, what's your thoughts on Ramsey? I mean, I think, look, if a guy wins us the league, then we're not going to think about anything about this. But if he's not playing and he's injured, then what was the point in this? Do you know what I mean? I'm already feel like I'm getting to that point.
Right. I'm not overly concerned or worried at the moment because I'm happy with our central midfield. Does that make sense? Like, I like Lundstram and Jack. So that's maybe my attitude the past few weeks. I've been like, if Ramsey gets fit, he gets fit. But he'll still need to earn his place in that team because Lundstram and Jack at the moment are undroppable. And Kamara's ahead of him as well. So if Ramsey gets fit, Kamara plays before him as well for me because he needs to prove, even if it's all right being fit, but he needs to prove that he's good enough to play for Rangers. He needs to come, be fit and have a good game. So for me, he's a long way off that. It's going to be March before you see him start a game. I mean, what are we at, 22nd just now? He won't start against Dortmund. I will be surprised if he's in the squad after not playing that bounce match. Squad on Sunday, will he start on Sunday? Possibly. It's going to be March, probably before you see him starting a game. But he needs to earn his right to be in that team because Jack and Lundstram, and I was going to say especially Jack, but you know what? Lundstram has been playing well also. So Ramsey's got to earn his place in that team. So I'm not overly concerned if he makes it. If he gets up to speed and he has an influence, and as Ali says, we kick on and win the championship, brilliant. It's been a great bit of business. If he doesn't, lesson learned, and that was a waste of money, and we move on from it. But Rangers have wasted money before. We are guilty of going for the big name. It gets you riled up. It gets you buzzing as fans. I mean, we were absolutely flying that night.
Yes, we were.
But I feel okay about it because these things happen. Sometimes signings don't come off. And I'm happy with our centre midfielders just now.
Yeah, and that's another fair point. It really is. Scotia, do we just maybe accept the fact that he's not going to be fit for 90 minutes while he's at Rangers and he just gets fit enough to make an impact from the bench? Because he's a great player to bring off the bench, don't get me wrong. However, he needs to be up to speed quite quickly, even for that to happen. But his quality should see him through that way. So what's your opinion? Should we jump the gun too quickly here on the opinion of it?
I don't think so. I think what it really comes down to with both Ramsey and Diallo is the price tag that's associated with them, and that's probably where the frustration's boiling over from. Because I was looking back, and to be honest, the last two decent loan signings that I can remember us making were Hadji, and that was with an option to buy. Obviously, there was no chance Ramsey and Diallo were going to have an option to buy, and was when Steve Davis came in back in 2008. Those are the last two players that have come in and actually made an impact and improved the squad in terms of being a loan player. All the loans that we've done since then really haven't worked. Koulibaly was okay for a while and then he fell off the face of the earth. Andy King was another one that was a complete waste. But with Ramsey, like the guys are saying there, with Jack and Lundstram, they're the first picks for me at the moment, and then I would prefer playing Kamara over Ramsey unless Ramsey was going to improve as massively, which at the moment he's not. I don't think he'll be doing. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, Jamie Lowe makes a good point. Kent was a decent loan. Yeah,
Oh, Kent
yes,
was a loan as well. I completely forgot about Kent. Aye, cheers, Jamie. Thanks for saving me there. Yeah,
as well. Yeah, no, he obviously was good. But yeah, obviously, nothing I want more. We were all absolutely buzzing when we seen Aaron Ramsey was signing for us, and it really lifted the whole crowd and lifted the whole support, the whole club for that matter. But I think we're all just so desperate to see him play. I mean, we've really not had a chance. I mean, he played in the middle of a storm when we played Annan. Do you know what I mean? Apart from that, we've not really seen him. So, yeah, hopefully he gets fit. But I would go along with what Ryan said. There is no danger of him starting on Thursday night. Just absolutely no chance of that happening. So you start to question why he's here, really. Right, gentlemen, we'll move on to the Dortmund preview. Before we started, you can tell that I'm now because I've been messing about with stuff on YouTube, and I put a poll on this chat. Has everybody done it? Yes. So it was, what do you think the outcome will be for Rangers on Thursday night against Dortmund? Win, draw, lose, but still go through, and lose, go out. 9% have voted for lose, go out. So I'm not going to put. I don't know if it's Celtic fans. It might be, or either that's Dortmund fans. Lose but still go through. Get 19%. Draw. Get 31%. And win. Good old Rangers fans was 41%. Ali, I'll come back to you, mate. What do you think Rangers are going to need to do in order to see this game out on Thursday night? Dortmund have bounced back in a bit of form. They put 6 past Borussia Mönchengladbach on Sunday, so they have certainly bounced back. So what do you think's key for Rangers on Thursday night?
It's going to be difficult. You can't do. I know we're starting basically with 2 goals of a start, which is mad when you think about that. If somebody tell you that last week, you'd be going into this game basically 2-0 up against Dortmund, you'd be like, you're whole. But to me, we do what we did out there. I don't think, see if Rangers go and try and defend a 2-0 lead, we'll get undone. To me, we need to go and play our own game like we did out in Dortmund, because we proved we can score against them. We scored 4 goals. Fully expect Dortmund to score against us at Ibrox as well. Obviously, Haaland, I think, is back in training. I would imagine he would start. I did see that Reina get injured. He's out. My pal, Agadou, that I call him, or Zagadou, apparently he's injured, which is gutting because wasn't he great?
He was a horror show, aye.
Yeah, but their backline's there to be got at. They'll come at us, so there'll be gaps to exploit, especially Ryan Kent, and they'll know who Ryan Kent is this time. So they'll be wary of Ryan Kent. But yeah, I think we just go out and play our own game. I really do. I don't think we should change our formation, go to 5 at the back or anything. I just think we go and play our game how we did in Dortmund. And we should hopefully have enough to get through the next round.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think's key for Rangers on Thursday?
They've got to. It's key that they hit the levels that they hit last week, Carney, and nothing less. Dortmund will be nothing like they were last week. I think they had an attitude problem against us. We were brilliant. We were absolutely fantastic, but they had an attitude problem. How they set out, I think they thought they just had to turn up against a wee diddy Scottish team, and they got slapped about in their own backyard. They won't come to Ibrox with that attitude. They'll be coming to Ibrox on Thursday night to win and put us out. That's what they'll be thinking. They'll be confident they can do that as well. So we need to match that desire and have to have our attitude in check. And I agree with Ali. I don't think we can look at the game as we're 2 goals up and sit in and try and defend that lead. We're not good enough to do that. We're not good enough to do that domestically, never mind on the European stage. Borussia Dortmund have, even without Haaland, a plethora of huge talent in their squad. I watched them on, it was Saturday night, and I think it was at Rangers on Tour that said that the last 20 minutes they scored 4 goals. I think it was 4 goals they scored in the last 20 minutes. They are a great team, despite what few people reported last week that they're not a great team. they're a great team. They're only 6 points behind Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. That's how rubbish they are. They will be a different animal on Thursday, and we need to be on it. But yeah, the difference for us has to be attitude. We need to be on our game the way we were last Thursday. And if we do, and I think we can, we'll beat them.
Yeah. I think you're right. Scotia, I think we kind of know what's going to happen. Really, Dortmund are going to immediately come at Rangers, immediately fly out the traps. But I'm of the opinion, fight fire with fire. Just go at them as well. Just none of this sitting back because I can't cope with it.
Yeah, as a team, we need to go out and, go as if it was still 0-0 and go out and try and at least win the game, We can't sit and try and protect our league because that'll just invite disaster on. Yeah, like Ryan and Rangers and Tour were saying there about the 4 goals in the last 20. I think their 5th goal came in the last 10 minutes prior to that as well. And a couple of times this season, I've seen their results and they've kind of won in the last 20, 30 minutes of a game. So Rangers as a team, need to go out and go for the win as it was. I think also what's going to be really important is the crowd. Everyone's absolutely buzzing for it, but the crowd need to be behind the team for the whole game. I don't want to get to the stage where the crowd start getting players back if we make a wee wrong decision, because we've seen it happen before, and for some of the players in our team, that's really affected them, and you could see that in the pitch.
It can't be like that. We're going to really need to stick with the team. Look, I expect Ibrox to be absolutely rocking. I think it will be. This is a massive night for us. I know it's quite difficult because Sunday's pretty raw still, because we went from such a high to such a low. And even after the Dortmund game, I said I wanted to just keep us going the way we were going, keep the fans going, keep the club going, keep the momentum going on a high. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but the closer it's getting, and even sitting here talking about it now, I'm beginning to get pretty excited about it. I really can't wait for it. I think the counter will be crucial for us. I do. I think we are going to have to take our opportunities when we get them. Dortmund won't be as poor as they were on Thursday. I just don't think they can be. They'll click into their 6-0 win. Obviously, kind of confirms that they're trying to regroup after what was a pretty disappointing European night for them. But I don't think the defence will be sorted over that week. I think we've still got a chance to get at them, and Alfredo Morelos absolutely loves this competition, and especially at Ibrox. I'm feeling good about it. I think it's going to be what did you call it, Ryan? A blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Yeah,
it's going to be a blockbuster. But yeah, I think it will be an up and down night. I think we're going to need to hold on at points, and I think we're going to need to go at points. It should be a really interesting night, and I can't wait for it. It's already getting me going. So we'll come on to what we think the teams are going to be. Alistair Pearson, what is your team?
How do we think about this one today? I know we've just talked about McGregor and McLaughlin previously, but I think we've kind of said in that we expect McGregor to play tonight and Thursday, and I expect McGregor to be there. So Shagger in goal, a backline of Tav, Goldson. I think Balogun will come back in because he played the bounce game. I think Balogun's a bit of a leader in this Rangers team, and we're going to need leaders on Thursday night, so he comes back in. Big Bassey, to me, he's nailed the left back position, so he comes in. Lundstrom, Jack, Aribo, Kent, Morelos. Now, hummed and hawed about Arfield, but I think he's been blown the last couple of games. He looks slightly knackered. So I'm going to bring the man for Zambia in. I think that'll give Dortmund something to think of, that side, in terms of Kent and Sakala. Frightening pace both sides. We'll just give them something to think down the right-hand side, because we only had one in terms of Kent on the left-hand side in the first leg. So if you put Sakala on the right-hand side, it makes them think. So that's my team right there. And do you want my prediction as well?
Go for it.
2 each.
Literally, if you've copied everything that I was going to say. Literally everything. Like, that is my team. 100%. I even sat and thought about it. I thought, I'll put Sakala in there. Because we're going to need counter on the break. And I put down a Desmond 2-2, man. I can't believe you've done that.
Maybe it's an omen, Karen. Maybe it's an omen.
Well, no, because we said that about
I know.
So I thought Ryan and Scotia, you better not pick 2 each, by the way. Ryan, your team, your score prediction, mate.
I'll give you in a second, but it just reminded me, Ali, you get that centenary top on, by the way.
Oh, Christ, I forgot.
You need
Get
to
that
wear
on.
it.
And don't take it off till May. I think I like Ali's thinking in terms of Sakala. I've got a feeling I'll go with the same team, and so I'm going with the exact same team. So it's Arfield instead of Sakala. However, I prefer that. Look, I prefer Sakala to play in a bit more pace on the right hand side. And I am going another blockbuster, boys. Strap yourselves in. Dortmund to score first. 3-2 Rangers.
Oh, God.
I was going to say, Ryan, you're not playing Balogun at centre half then, you're keeping Big Bassy in there.
Big Bassy in there and then balling at left back. Yeah, I know Balogun played in that game. I've not heard anything how fit he is. He'll probably become clear after the press conference, but I don't know. Did Balogun play the full game or
just 45?
45. Yeah, I would like Balogun, but I've got a feeling he won't make it.
And 3-2, God, right.
3-2, boys, strap in.
Well, we're in for an exciting night anyway. Scotia, your team, score prediction, mate.
Yeah, it's an amalgamation of all 3 years. It's Sakala in for Arfield, and then the same team that had started last week. Yeah, a bit like Ryan there in terms of, at the moment, without having any further information on Balogun's situation, I think he just keeps with Bassey and Barisic, even if there's the slightest doubt about it. And then Sakala offers you that out ball that I think we could potentially need at times. And my score prediction, 2 each as well. Going for it. Just to see us through.
Yeah, just to see us through. Any way that we get through, I'll take. I'm more than happy because it will still be a night to remember. I just would like it to be a draw, for us not to get like beat 1-0 or something like that. Like you'd like to remember it for the win. However, I think we're in for an exciting night, no matter what. That will do us for tonight, gentlemen. Ran a wee bit longer tonight because we were live. Ali, thank you very much, mate.
No problem. Looking forward to Thursday night. Hopefully the Rangers bring me back up to that high of last Thursday. So, buzzing for it.
Yeah. Ryan, thanks very much, mate.
Cheers, boys. I've not really spoke to him since I spoke to you on Sunday, so that was good to just kind of blow the cobwebs away and look forward to Thursday. Yeah, very much looking forward to it, and I will speak to you on Thursday night. I hope everybody enjoys the game and the atmosphere.
Yes. Scotia, thanks, mate.
Yes, really looking forward to Thursday, and hopefully after Thursday night we've got another 2 European games to look forward to as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you to everybody for getting involved in the comments. As always, really, really good. Quite a lot of these here tonight. Superb. So thank you to everybody for getting involved. Just lastly, you can now join the channel if you'd like to support us, help us grow. From the 99p, you'll become a Club at 22 supporter. If you're still a Club at 22 supporter at the end of the season, you can win me a chance of winning a gift voucher for the Rangers store. If becoming a Club at 20 supporter is not your thing, you still want to support us, you can buy the podcast a coffee. All links for that are below. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. 2 wee clicks for you cost nothing, but it makes a massive difference to us. And we will be back to just quickly, the thing rolling across the bottom of the screen. If you could donate to the charity raffle, enter the charity raffle, that'd be very much appreciated. So yes, we will be back on Thursday after the game, hopefully to discuss a pretty monumentous night for Rangers. So until then, we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Play up the Glasgow Rangers. Cheers, everyone.